Well, hello, family. It is Tuesday. Welcome to it. It is a beautiful day outside. If you hear a lot of noise going on, you know that we have a lot of construction going on the bottom half of our house. We're opening up like a patio area outside of the cigar room. So it's a lot of moving parts, and I know my neighbors are about ready to put us out the neighborhood, and everybody probably want to know what's going on. I'm talking about we have um, dump trucks, we have um, those machines that get the tile off the car and bring it back to the backyard. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of moving parts. And I know my neighbors are tired. And if you follow me, let me apologize to you right now. I'm so embarrassed and I'm so sorry. But we try to be within, the daytime with the noise and not at night. Things stop at about 6 o'clock or 5:30 here. So, we're almost there. Not exactly, but we're almost there. Uh it spiraled out of control very, very quickly. Um, and I don't know about you guys, but I deal with a husband that has multiple personalities. So one day he might say, "Oh, I want to do this," and the next day he's like, yeah, I want to change that." And he's very much a go-getter, and he's very much his mind is like, I mean, it's like I always tell him, I can't wait till the plane land. Just tell me when the plane land, and tell me what you're thinking, and let's pin one of those. It's a lot, you guys, but we're navigating ourselves through it together because you know projects are very hard with us. When we go in on a project, you guys, it's a test in our marriage. It really is, because it is a lot. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what size projects you do in your home and if you do it with your husband, but it's a lot. But when it's done, it's the best thing since sliced bread. But during the process, I'm talking about we literally be in here by like, oh my God, I don't know exactly what to say. I don't want to step on a landmine and be like, I don't think. And he's like, listen, you gotta think about this, or you gotta understand what I'm trying to do here. And then, it turns into a whole thing. But he's doing an amazing job, you guys. He is working really, really hard on this bottom. And I think it's gonna be very, very nice, and I can't wait to see the outcome. His vision, and you know what I don't like and what I do like. Kind of collide sometime, but he's brought me in on a lot of things. He's not making any decisions without me knowing, and I'm so grateful for that because he clearly could, but that's neither here nor there. I appreciate him for asking me my thoughts, because if I go out there and I'm like, I don't really like that, then he knows how I am, and we don't want that, right? So I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. So I wanted to come to you guys today. This one kind of resonated with me because we've been dealing with this a lot with people, and we talk about it all the time, and we've come to the conclusion that they don't people just don't want to. Let me just come out with it. When you don't see yourself as an as an issue in your marriage, or you know when you're ready to tell the when you're ready to tell your spouse, hey, let me tell you this is what's really bothering me about you. I wanted to tell you that I didn't like when you did this, or I wanted to tell you that when you said this to me, that pissed me off a little bit. Or let me just talk to you about this, because let me tell you something. The way you acted the other night, or da 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 da, and then the next thing you know, your spouse is more on, well, wait a minute, because from my understanding, you do the same thing. So a lot of times when you are ready to tell your spouse about a certain thing, you might want to think about, Have I done that even? Is that even, is that something that is just him, or do I do it as well? Because a lot of times people don't want to see themselves in a situation because it can get totally, things can get totally turned around. Like when you're telling your spouse about what's pissing you off or what's getting on your nerves. And then your spouse said, okay, I received that, but let me tell you about you. And then the next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about you. Well, that's not fair because if you're doing it too, but you're telling me you don't like it, then that's an issue because I feel like you don't see yourself, but you're going to tell me about me. And I'm just supposed to just sit here and just take all those punches that you're throwing at me. But then when I'm getting ready to, hey, but listen, it was a situation where you did that as well. Wait a minute. I'm not talking about me. That's not right. It can be in a relationship. It can be in your friendships, with your family. It's very, very hard when people don't see themselves. They don't see that they're doing it, but it in turn is bothering them. And they're very much vocal on the fact that it's pissing them off. But never mind that they don't see themselves doing. Is that not irritating to you that, oh my God, is that not the, how people say, is that not the pot calling the kettle black? Did I say that right? Is that not the pot calling the kettle black? Is that not irritating to you when a person tells you that something is pissing them off, but they do it all the time? That's like a serious situation when you don't see yourself. Like this bothers me about, it's like, okay, it's like you have your parents. You don't realize how much you act like your parents. And as much as you try not to be like them, because my mom or my dad irritates the crap out of me when they do this and they do that, and you're going off and you're dogging them out, right? Or my spouse or whatever. And you don't even see that you do the same thing. It's a little bit scary that you don't even recognize that in yourself. I'm hearing noise back here and I'm like, hold on. I know I have a fan going because, it's hot flash Susie right here. But seriously, people, don't be the person that loves to tell everybody about themselves, but yet when I get ready to tell you about you, there's a whole issue. And wait a minute. As my husband will always say, because, he'll tell me what he was thinking about. And he'll just come out with, hey, I was thinking that you probably could, if you could work on this or something like that. And I'll be like, oh, okay. But you remember when and he always tell me, you love to flip the script. You love to flip the script. A lot of times it's not intentional for me to flip the script, but what I try to tell him when that happens with us is more of, I feel like almost I can't respect what you're saying when I know that you're doing it too, and we don't never really talk about when you do it, but then when I do it, it's a problem. You know how they say it's cool when you do it, it's a problem when I do it, right? And a lot of times he would say, Well, Alexia, maybe you should say at the time when it happens that it's bothering you. Don't wait till I tell you the situation and then you're ready to tell me about me at that time because you're mad because I'm telling you about you. That's a point too. And he's absolutely correct on that. He's absolutely correct on that. I might not be thinking about it. I know that it might have irritated me at the time, but I'm not really vocal a lot of times on, sometimes I can be very passive about certain situations, but he's not that way. So when he sees an issue, he can come to you and kind of pinpoint it and kind of tell you about it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And then I have a hard time receiving it because it's like, wait a minute, I remember when you did this and da 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 da. And he's like, you love this. I'm talking about you right now. You love to flip the script. And that can become an issue because he's right. You don't wait till they tell you about you to then come out with the hold on because you and you get upset because you don't like people to tell you about yourself. I'm a type of person. I do have an issue with this. I don't necessarily like for anybody to tell me about myself because it's hurtful. But that's life and that's gonna happen. And I might not see myself at the time. But like my husband say, don't wait until I bring up what's bothering me for you to then try to throw it back on me to make yourself feel better. And I never really realized that until you sit around and you think about it. I'm ready to rebuttal because you hurt my feelings, but I'm waiting until you got an issue with me for me to tell you I got an issue with you. When I could have told you that bothered me when it happened. So that means, in turn, I didn't really see myself in that because I'm just ready to rebuttal. I'm ready to rebuttal back on him because I don't like that he making me feel bad about how he feel. So a chord strikes in you where you feel like, okay, I got to tell you, listen, you did it too. So how you gonna tell me? Sometimes you just have to receive it, work on it, and try not to get back to that point because my husband's favorite word, he loves his word and he got it from one of his good friends and we live our lives by it. Give each other the right to be wrong. Give each other the right to be wrong because it's gonna you're not perfect. The relationship is not perfect. No matter how hard you try to act like everything is like this and you know, we do this together and we're the perfect model as a couple. And then behind the scenes, y'all don't really like each other like that. Or y'all ain't really getting along like you say y'all getting along. But hey, I digress. I'm just saying, make sure that you see yourself sometimes when you're getting ready to pound on that next person in the relationship or your friendship or what have you. Make sure you have dissected yourself. Do I even do that? Before I sit here and tear this person apart on what I'm feeling, do I act like that? I think it'll make a difference if you sit back and you think about it a little bit and say, let me see. I know I don't like this about him, but am I doing that? Am I doing that as well? I don't know. I don't know. You know why you don't know? Because you ain't never really thought about you. You're just one track mind on and focused on what's pissing you off about your spouse, what's pissing you off about your family, what's pissing you off about your friends. One track mind. And I'm gonna get it off my chest because it's pissing me off. So I'm gonna get ready to tell you about yourself. But then when they get ready to tell you about you, oh, that's when it blows up. Wait a minute. I'm not even talking about me. What are you talking about? I'm having a conversation with you about you. This has nothing to do with me. Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes you need to see yourself. You're a mess too. You're a mess too. And you need to work on you as well as I will work on me. It's not one track. It's not one way. It's not one way. You have your issues. I have mine. So we got to figure out a medium in this thing, some kind of way to say, okay, wait. Or maybe you can just say, look, it just, it's all in the delivery, really. And a lot of times it's the respect that you have for the person, because if you don't have any respect for the person, then of course things will blow up when that person tells you about yourself. So number one, make sure you even respect the person, and make sure that you can receive it when it does happen. Like, let them talk, let them tell. I'm learning that more and more because I'm an only child. I grew up, and this is, these are traumas that you grow up with that you don't even realize that's happening. So I grew up as, I'm an only child. Pretty much you get to do what you want to do in your home as long as you're respectable and things like that. I didn't have a hard mom. My mom was very lenient and very nice and wonderful to me, right? Um, I know I had aunts and uncles that tried to step in and try to help me as well when I got into my little issues or what have you. But I got into a lot of little stuff, but I made it through. But I never really had a lot of people to tell me about myself. So I have my issues, but I, I'm not gonna tell you about myself. But I have issues. I'm not gonna sit around and just tell you all my issues with me. Now, if I see that person having issues, I can tell you all about, oh, she a mess, honey. Let me tell you about her and da 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 da. But meanwhile, over here, I got about the same issues. But I can tell you all about that person over there and how much of a mess they are and have so much to say about them. But yet, I'm a mess internally. You see where I'm going with that? Like, I can tell you, ooh, honey, sister girl, let me tell you, she got this going on. Let me, that girl over there, she ain't no good. She got da 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 da. But yet, I got some things going on internally too that people might be saying the same thing about me, but I got a lot to say about her. But I ain't even really looked at myself. I never really looked at me. Looking at yourself is a problem at times. Do you understand that? It's a problem for some people. We have so much to say, we have so much opinion, and we have to so much negative to put out there on everybody else, but we haven't even dissected our own self. We haven't, looked at our own issues and our own problems. We're walking around and our name is problem. Our name is issue. Instead of having our name, which is okay, I'll start with me. Instead of my name being Alexia, my name could really be Alexia. Um, uh, uh, Instead of my name being Alexia, my name could be issue, issues, because I do have issues. I'm working on it. I'm working on a better me every day. I don't sit here and try to That's just, I don't make excuses for my issues. That's just me. That's just what it is. Love me for me, or leave. I'm not that person. I want to be better. I don't want to I don't want my husband to feel like he can't come to me and tell me about me, right? I don't want him to feel like he can't come without me blowing up at him and telling him, "Well, let me tell you something. First of all, you ain't perfect." I can't rebuttal. I have to sit back and I have to listen. You know what? And really understand and receive what your spouse or whomever is saying. If you're in a relationship or whatever, receive exactly what they're saying. Let me tell you something. I've told you guys a lot about this. I'm learning a lot from my friend. She is like, it's like almost counseling, being around my good girlfriends and in their relationship and things like that. Because sometimes you think you're the only one that go through these certain things mentally, and they kind of let you know. Well, instead of you getting your feelings when your husband tells you this or this and that, why don't you just listen and then take it in, come back, and then say, you know what, I really thought about what you said, and I'm gonna work on that. I didn't realize that was me. Instead of you saying, well, I heard what you said and I listened to it and I receive it. But let me tell you about you. You didn't receive it at all. You just went right into, again, just like my husband told me, Alexia, when the issue arises of what you feeling about me, you should be able to come to me and tell me then how you felt, instead of waiting until I tell you about you. You don't wait till I tell you about you to then have a problem. You tell me when you have a problem on your own, and then when I have a problem on my own, it'll be my problem on my own with you. And then we're not fighting. Then we're not fighting back and forth on who's right and who's wrong. Learn how to listen and receive what is being said before you rebuttal. Go away, sit in your little corner, feel sorry for yourself or whatever it is. Think about it and work on it. It's simple. It's not the end of the world. It's just I receive it and I work on that. See yourself. See yourself in in the issue. Don't just throw it back on the other person. Don't play tennis with them. Okay, I might see myself on that. And you know what? I need to really work on that issue. I didn't know that was a problem. Or if you sit back and you think about it, it probably is a problem. You know what? I never really tried to sit back and see if that was an issue, if that was a problem. I never really tried to sit back and see that, but I see it now, and you know what? I'm gonna work on that. When I tell you it'll be a perfect world, when you can receive something and see yourself in the issue, it'll be a perfect world almost. Don't be like me and then you're ready to rebuttal when that person is telling you about yourself because you just don't like people to tell you about yourself. That's an issue. I do realize that I have an issue. I don't like to be told about me. That's my flaw. But I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. Um, Definitely. My husband, he might not like it either, but he's definitely working on it too. Because he tries his best to be the perfect husband. And I try my best to be close to perfect as I can get as a wife, because if you have a husband that's deserving of that, that should be your goal. It's a difference if you don't have a spouse that's deserving of you receiving when they tell you about yourself. It's a difference. So I just wanted to tell you about that. I hope that it all makes sense, that you can kind of understand what I'm trying to say, that you can kind of receive what I'm saying. Work on seeing yourself in the issue first before you take it and throw it on to the next person. Okay? I love you guys. I truly do. And I pray for you every day. Thank you guys for sticking in here with me, and watching my shows. And don't forget, you guys have kind of slacked off a little bit. You don't tell me what you want to hear anymore. I used to get inboxes on what you want to hear, and what you're going through. I remember, if you inbox me and you tell me you want to hear a certain thing, it's okay for you to send me a message and let me know how what you want to hear. I never really reveal who it is I'm talking about, just the issue in itself. Okay, so we never really talk about who we're talking about. We just want to talk about the issue so we can help some people along the way in this thing called marriage. All right. Love you guys. Make sure you call somebody today. Let them know that you are thinking about them, that you just wanted to hey, I just wanted to make sure you're good. That's it. It always makes my day when somebody calls me, hey, sis, I'm just checking on you. I just, I saw what you put up, or I saw what you talked about. I just want to make sure you're good. You good? I'm good. And I appreciate you for calling me, because you know what? That phone call, or you might need to talk to somebody. Hey, by the way, let me just run this past you, sis. I appreciate you calling me, and I'm glad that you called me. But let me run this by you. What you think about this? Thank you for calling. That's call, text, whatever you can do. It might make somebody's day. All right. Love you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Marriage Our Way. Hit the bell for me. And I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Love you. Bye bye.